Hello again. Welcome to part two of this video series. I'd like to start by just saying thank you for those that have looked at the video and the many comments I've received on the first video. Um, Nearly all of them positive, and I'm a little bit overwhelmed. So I thought I'd try and get a second video out quite quickly. Um, I thought I'd start this video by talking a little bit about what I mean by heresy and misconduct in the solution-focused world, and what heresy is, and the lens that I'm looking at things from. As I said, this project originally started with a collaborative set of conversations between me and three other people. But I've also had conversations with other people over the quarter of a century plus that I've been doing solution-focused work. I've been part of national associations. I've observed other national associations, message board lists, videos, discussions at conferences, and all of those things lead me to where I am with this project. So, heresy and misconduct. This originally came from a quote by George Bernard Shaw, who said that all evolution in thought and conduct must first begin as heresy and misconduct. And I think it's time that we looked at some evolution in thought and conduct in the solution-focused world. We are, after all, a microcosm of the world in general, and so should expect that the best of humankind is in the solution-focused world, and perhaps the worst of humankind, although I hope not the worst, in very small quantities maybe. Heresy. Heresy can be defined in many ways and is generally accepted as a religious term or an anti-religious term. Here I'm going to use a definition that is slightly different. And it says an opinion or opinions profoundly at odds with what is generally accepted. What is generally accepted? Okay, that in itself is problematic. What is generally accepted to me means what's out there. What does everybody understand? What do the majority of people understand and align to? And here's where the first part of something I'm going to say, which will resonate throughout the whole series. And I don't. It's a difficult thing to say because I'm part of the problem, and I'll explain what I mean. I'm a white male. I'll just let that sit there for a minute. I'm white and I'm male. Now, when I look at solution focused associations, when I look at solution focused books, when I look at the solution focused conferences, often, not always, but often, they're dominated by white men. The rules, the established developments are often by white men. And I say this because it's quite important in when we look at where the solution focused world is at. When I have had conversations with a very prominent solution focused woman who says to me she feels she's mansplained, she feels that she's not referenced in many men's books about solution focused therapy, she feels that she has ideas which are ignored and then promoted as ideas from men. I have to listen to that. I have to accept that. When a black colleague tells me they've been disadvantaged in their solution focused work, in their acceptance to conferences, in their promotion of their books, in their lack of reference in other people's books, in their lack of inclusion in particular solution focused groups, I have to listen to that. A very good friend of mine, a Maori guy in New Zealand, said to me, as a white man, you were born white, you were born a man, you had no choice in that. But you do have a choice in whether you're an ally or whether you're part of the problem. I'm choosing to be an ally. That doesn't mean I'm black, it doesn't mean I'm female, it doesn't mean I'm anything other than who or what I am. And I'm going to leave that there and let you recognize that a lot of what I say over the next 20 or so videos is from that lens. Now, being a white male doesn't mean that I've never suffered disadvantage, and those that know me and can go and look at my LinkedIn profile and the articles and blogs I've written know that I came to the therapy world from a very disadvantaged background, and early on in my life had some significant challenges to go through. But that doesn't mean I'm promoting those disadvantages um, against world disadvantages. And the reality is, we can't deny that some of the facts. If you walk down the street in London and you're white and you're black, if you're black, you're more likely to be picked up by the police. You're more likely to be searched. You're more likely to get a heavier sentence in most countries if you're somebody of colour. Um, why is this significant? Is significant because in the solution focused world, and one of the things about solution focused work that really, really appealed to me is its inclusivity. Its inclusivity is simply because we work with a person we're seeing agenda, their best hopes, their preferred future, what they would like to be different, what others around them would like to be different. And with that in mind, the specific agenda is not that of the person that is seeing them, the therapist, the expert, the professional. That appeals to me, still does appeal to me. And in the vast majority of solution focused work, that's held dear. And here's where some heresy, because some people don't always hold it dear. Some of the ideas I've seen over the last couple of years are that the development of the professional, the development of the expert, is almost more important than the preferred future of a client. And an example would be where somebody says, I match what I do to what I think the client needs at the particular time. I'm solution focused, but eclectic. I'm solution focused. However, if I know something that will be helpful, it's important that I put that in the mix. I find some difficulty in that. And I also find some difficulty in the fact that 35, 40 years on, people need to make a name in solution focus by promoting new ideas. And some of those new ideas, I would say, don't always sit firmly within a solution focused approach. But hey, who am I to say that? Well, I started with last session, with an introduction of where I come from in the solution focused world. I started with doing training at Brief in 1993. I've thousands and thousands of hours of solution focused work. I've written a few chapters and a book. I did a master's in solution focused therapy. And I think some of that qualifies me to have an opinion. And it is only that, it's an opinion. I don't hold the higher moral ground. I don't say I'm right and other people are wrong, but I think I have an opinion that is worthy, and as worthy as other people's, no more, no less. So my opinion around solution focus currently is that I welcome evolving nature of solution focused therapy. I welcome development of ideas, and I welcome all that within the framework that is solution focus. And that's quite difficult to determine sometimes, and it's also very simple to determine. Okay, so the most simple thing is something I've talked about with a colleague, um, Elliot Connie, and I don't think you'll mind me speaking about this. But solution focus can boil down to a couple of questions, really. What's the client's best hopes from the time talking together? And what's a rich description of that? How do we know that they're moving towards that? I won't go any further into that at this point because I think it's something for a future video session. I've got 22 sessions planned out at the moment with some keywords, and those keywords are sitting on a little bit of paper next to me. That's all I've got. All the rest of it is pretty much from my stream of consciousness. So I'll make mistakes in these videos. I'll say things and then think, oh, I wish I hadn't have said that. But it doesn't mean I'm going to delete anything. It doesn't mean I'm going to edit anything. It means that it gives you an opportunity to make some comments at the bottom of the page, or to reply in a video, or to get a debate going. This, if nothing else, this series of videos is to get the debate going, to think about evolution in thought and conduct, which is how I started the session, to think about where we are in solution focused, who's who is solution focused, who's determining what solution focus is, who's holding the reins, who's including and excluding, why are people being included and excluded, where are developments coming from, which developments are accepted as developments in evolving nature of solution focused therapy, and which elements are ignored or not included. And I'll leave you with this thought. Have a look at your solution focused books. Have a look in the authors at the end, the references. If you know them, see how much percentage of those authors are women, how many of those authors are non-white, and then look at the next book, and the next book, and the next book, and just have a look. Just think about it. Look at some photos of associations, of gatherings, of meetings. Look how many women are keynote speakers. Look how many people of colour are keynote speakers. Look at how many people in these associations hold positions of power. I'll leave it there, and the next session is due to be trying to define some of what solution focus is and isn't, in my opinion. Although I'm quite willing, based on comments that I get on this video, to take things in a slightly different um, angle, different direction. Um, I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope it hasn't upset too many people, and I'm happy to hear any comments. Thank you. Bye.